The path of spiritual evolution is filled with profound and transformative discoveries. However, there is a subtle and dangerous trap along this journey: the spiritual ego. Many believe that by acquiring spiritual knowledge and experience, they are immune to the traps of the ego. But the truth is that the ego can strengthen and camouflage itself under the guise of spirituality. Throughout the spiritual journey, it is common to encounter internal challenges that test our self-awareness and self-mastery. The ego, upon realizing that we are seeking something greater and deeper, can adapt and use our spiritual achievements as fuel for its own expansion. This creates a vicious cycle where, instead of freeing ourselves from the shackles of the ego, we end up reinforcing it even more. The spiritual ego makes us believe that we know everything, that we are superior to others because we are more evolved. This sense of superiority is a great illusion, a trap that distances us from the true essence of the spiritual path. By believing that we are better or wiser, we create a barrier between ourselves and others, hindering true connection and compassion. The illusion of spiritual superiority prevents us from seeing the value and beauty of each individual's journey, making us forget that spirituality is, above all, a deeply personal and unique experience. When we close ourselves off in our supposed superiority, we miss the opportunity to learn from the experiences and perspectives of others, limiting our own growth. Narcissistic people are those who have an inflated sense of their own importance and a constant need for admiration. They tend to believe they are special and unique, deserving of different treatment from others. This behavior is often accompanied by a lack of empathy and an inability to recognize or value the feelings and needs of others. In the context of personal and professional relationships, narcissism can cause significant harm, creating imbalanced and harmful power dynamics. Narcissists often manipulate and control those around them to maintain their sense of superiority, causing suffering and disconnection. Additionally, their incessant need for external validation can lead to destructive and self-sabotaging behaviors. In the spiritual context, narcissism can manifest insidiously. Narcissistic individuals may consider themselves more enlightened or spiritually advanced, believing they possess superior knowledge or understanding. This belief in superiority can lead to judgmental and exclusionary behavior, creating a hostile and competitive environment instead of one of mutual acceptance and learning. They may use their apparent spiritual advancement as a means of control and manipulation, further reinforcing their ego and distancing themselves from the true essence of spirituality. This behavior is extremely detrimental not only to individual spiritual growth, but also to the community as a whole. True spirituality promotes unity, understanding, and compassion, values that are completely opposed to narcissistic attitudes. The spiritual ego not only creates the illusion of superiority, but also limits us from knowing the true essence of our higher self and the path of light. When we are trapped in the ego, our vision becomes blurred, and we are unable to see beyond superficial appearances. True connection with our higher self requires a complete surrender of the ego, allowing divine light to guide us without the interference of judgments or prejudices. By freeing ourselves from the limitations of the spiritual ego, we open space for a deeper and more authentic understanding of ourselves and the universe, enabling a more enlightened and true journey. The spiritual ego is nothing more than mental projections that the ego uses to continue maintaining control over our existence. These projections are illusions that the ego creates to convince us that we are on the right path, even when we are stuck in behavioral patterns that reinforce our sense of superiority and separation. By clinging to these projections, we distance ourselves from the true spiritual experience, which is marked by humility, love, and unity. The ego uses these projections to mask our insecurities and fears, keeping us in an illusory comfort zone where we believe we are spiritually evolving but are merely feeding the ego. It is crucial to recognize these projections and work to dissolve them, allowing the truth and light of our higher self to shine without distortions. The more we learn, the more we become aware that we know nothing. This is one of the greatest truths of the spiritual journey. Each new discovery opens doors to more questions and mysteries, revealing the vastness of the unknown. We must be careful not to fall into the trap of the spiritual ego and believe that we know everything. Believing that we have already attained all the necessary knowledge limits our growth and evolution. Instead, we should embrace humility, and recognize that the journey is infinite and there is always more to learn and discover. Maintaining this perspective allows us to keep growing, exploring, and expanding our consciousness without the limitations imposed by the ego. One of the main symptoms of the spiritual ego is judging others. When we judge others, we are actually projecting something that is already within us. Judgment is a way for the ego to reaffirm its superiority and hide our own insecurities and flaws. When we criticize or belittle the choices and beliefs of others, we are diverting attention from our own internal challenges. This projection prevents us from seeing the truth about ourselves and disconnects us from compassion and understanding. By judging, we create separation and conflict instead of promoting unity and harmony. It is crucial to recognize this tendency and work to replace it with acceptance and empathy. Understanding that each person is on their own unique path of growth and learning. Only then can we transcend the ego and truly advance on our spiritual journey. When we free ourselves from the spiritual ego and surrender to the true universal energy, we learn autonomously and genuinely everything that is meant to be revealed to us. This surrender allows us to be guided by a higher wisdom that transcends the limitations of our ego and rational mind. By aligning with this universal energy, we enter a natural flow of learning and growth, where knowledge and truth are revealed to us at the right time and in the right way. This process is deeply intuitive and connects us with the source of all wisdom. Total surrender to the universal energy frees us from the illusions and projections of the ego, allowing us to live according to our divine purpose and harmonize with the universe. This deep and genuine connection provides us with a sense of peace, clarity, and fulfillment that cannot be achieved through the ego's pursuit of knowledge or spiritual status. The spiritual ego can also distance the people you care about and love, breaking relationships and making it difficult to interact with others. When we allow the spiritual ego to dominate our perception, we become more critical and less understanding, which can alienate friends, family, and partners. The insistence on demonstrating spiritual superiority or constantly correcting others can create an environment of tension and mistrust. This attitude can make those around us feel undervalued and misunderstood, leading to distancing and breaking important relationships. Additionally, the spiritual ego can make us less receptive to feedback and constructive criticism, isolating us further in our bubble of supposed superiority. To maintain healthy and harmonious relationships, it is crucial to recognize and control the spiritual ego, practicing empathy, respect, and unconditional acceptance of others. It is essential to remember that spiritual knowledge must be accompanied by humility and openness. True wisdom lies in recognizing that there is always something to learn, that the journey never ends. We are all at different stages of growth and evolution, and no one is intrinsically better or worse for it. Recognizing and accepting this truth helps us cultivate a mindset of continuous learning and mutual growth. Humility allows us to see each encounter and experience as an opportunity for growth, strengthening our commitment to truth and authenticity. Additionally, openness to new ideas and perspectives helps us maintain a receptive heart and mind, essential for true spiritual development. Taking care of the spiritual ego is fundamental. We must constantly observe ourselves, question our motivations, and avoid falling into the trap of judging others. Spiritual evolution is a path of service, love, and humility. By recognizing our own limitations and continuing to learn from others, we can truly grow and help in the collective evolution of humanity. Constant vigilance over our thoughts and actions allows us to quickly identify and correct any deviation towards the ego. Practicing self-compassion and compassion for others is crucial to maintaining our focus on the true essence of spirituality. By committing to personal and collective growth, we contribute to creating a more harmonious and enlightened world where everyone can thrive. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications of new videos. See you next time on Your Higher Self.